How's it, guys? Welcome back to Samuel Service Center. So this is episode 1 of the Rights to Repair campaign, and we've got none other than Kate Elliot, the CEO of the Rights to Repair campaign. Kate, welcome to Service Center, Samuel Service Center.
Thank you so much, Dubes. It's great to be here. I'm excited to chat to you today about Right to Repair.
Perfect. So just before we get into it, a bit about yourself. I'm probably going to go off script, but yeah, a bit about yourself, bit of a family background, that sort of thing.
So I'm actually an attorney by trade, and I'm now running the Right to Repair campaign. They brought me in wanting someone with a little bit more legal expertise to help with enforcement and compliance with the guidelines, which is what the Right to Repair campaign is all about. I'm also a mom. I got 2 kids. I love to run in the mountains and nature. And I also really enjoy baking kids' cakes.
I see why you got the job. It's that's pretty evident. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, Kate Elliot, CEO of Rights to Repair campaign, and I think without further ado, let's just get straight into it. So I think the biggest question that everybody wants to know is, what is the Right to Repair campaign, and when was it launched, and what was the need to launch this whole campaign?
Okay, so the Right to Repair campaign is all about making sure that the automotive aftermarket is a competitive environment for businesses to operate in. It came about because the manufacturers of vehicles, so all your big name brands, were putting clauses into place when people purchased their vehicles that prevented people from using alternative service providers and parts when servicing their vehicle or doing repairs during the in-warranty period. And so in about 2017, a group of concerned aftermarket businesses got together and started under the leadership of MIWA, which is the auto body organization that represents also like independent service centers and that. So they got together to try and fight for these rights to make the environment more competitive. And how they did that is they approached the Competition Commission because they saw that what was actually happening in the market was anti-competitive.
Yeah.
And so probably against the Competition Act, which has actually been around for quite a long time. But they wanted that Competition Act to be more applicable to this specific market. And so they campaigned for guidelines which apply the Competition Act directly to this specific market to be drafted, so that people could understand how the Competition Act applies in this market and to make it a fairer environment.
Wow. And just, I mean, again, how did the big boys, as I'd like to call them, how did they respond to this campaign? Because obviously that, I'm sure, is taking away a lot of business.
Sure. I mean, as you can imagine, no one likes to change their business model if it's working for them. So obviously they got a lot of business by putting in these restrictive contract clauses, and it was easy. They didn't necessarily have to provide very good service because they had a captive audience, so to speak, and so while they have not been, majority of them, some of them have actually been quite welcoming of these guidelines, but the majority are not thrilled. At least they were not thrilled in the beginning, but some are really starting to see the benefit. Perhaps not the manufacturers themselves so much, but the dealers. Yeah. The dealers are definitely starting to see the benefit in that they can now also work on other brands than what they sell.
100%. And I mean, I can only imagine that this has made it easier, not only for the RMI approved workshops in particular, but for the used car dealerships, like that used car industry.
Exactly.
Sort of sell their cars to people, because a lot of people have trust issues. Some people feel very uneasy because you don't have a maintenance plan, some cars out of warranty, and there's that bit of thing. So I think, my own personal opinion, I can definitely understand why some of them sort of feel aggrieved, but also why some of them would be happy, because the ones that care about their consumers and their clients would want to make it easier, for customers or consumers to sort of get that service anywhere, really, as long as it's all legitimate, if I can put it.
Exactly, 100%. I mean, a good example is small towns where so someone has bought a new vehicle in a small town, and that particular brand doesn't have any representation in that small town. And so now it's really difficult for that customer to get their car serviced. They have to drive 2 towns over or something, which is obviously not an ideal situation. And so brands that care about their customers, as you say, should see this as a bonus.
100%. I mean, from a personal experience, I know I'm from Ladysmith, so a small town within KZN, and we bought a Ford Ranger, but from Pietermaritzburg. So just to get it serviced, Ladysmith, the Ford branch had an issue because we didn't buy it from them for some unknown reason, and then we had to send it to PMB. So you can imagine that for some people that we know more about this initiative, then you could have easily just went anywhere, provided that obviously your car is out of warranty or out of maintenance or service plan. You know, that
not out of warranty, but out of a service plan.
Yes. So in terms of how do you guys respond to, you know, the private warranties that sort of the used automotive dealership sells to people? Like your extended warranty.
Are you talking about an extended warranty, not a factory warranty?
Yes.
Okay, so we are getting into a little bit of the nitty-gritty of the guidelines here, but no problem. So extended warranties are actually a little bit of a difficult one because they are not explicitly mentioned in the guidelines. However, we have discussed this issue with the Competition Commission, and they have indicated kind of off the record really that they believe that they should be treated, it would be in the spirit of the guidelines to treat them in the same way. But they are a little bit different because the factory warranty is where the manufacturer has said, I've created a quality product. Yes. I believe that it should last for so long without having any issues. Whereas the extended warranty, it's more of an insurance product. It's saying, I've got an expensive vehicle here. Although we're past the point where things could still go wrong, I don't really have the money to replace the engine, say, if it blows up. And so I'm going to take out an extended warranty so that if something large like that does happen, then I'm covered. So it is a little bit different. It's more like an insurance product.
100%. I think that makes perfect sense. We've actually touched on, we've sort of went out of our jurisdiction. You know, the public a better understanding of, you know, who it's for. It's not only for people who are buying cars, you know, that are still in warranty. Even, you know, if they're out of warranty, there's still a way forward, at least, or a bright future for those customers.
Well, you know, what I hope will happen is that all businesses will pull up their socks a bit, because there's opportunity now that there is a fair marketplace. And everyone's going to have to compete. The dealers and themselves, everyone's going to have to pull up their socks and provide better service at better prices. So I think it does actually affect the market post-warranty period as well.
100%. So I guess in a nutshell, to wrap everything up, what does this mean, you know, for the motorists and consumers in general? I mean, I can only imagine that there's quite a small percentage of consumers who actually know in this country, to say the least, about the right to repair campaign. Like I said, I didn't know about it until only recently, a couple of months ago.
So, you know, the main thing that's going to come out of this is, as I said, businesses are going to start having to pull up their socks. So for consumers, it means they should be getting, or should hopefully be getting, cheaper, better services than they have before, because everyone's going to have to compete more.
100%. So as a client, if I'm now put in a position whereby I'm sort of forced to, you know, accept or buy into that maintenance and all those things, what do I do as a consumer?
So if the OEM is refusing to sell you a vehicle, or the manufacturer is refusing to sell you a vehicle without a service plan in place, you can lay a complaint with the Competition Commission. I mean, first, I would say to them, listen, I'm not accepting this, and try and fight it a bit with them. But if they really, you know, dig in their heels and say, sorry, it's totally not possible, then you lay a complaint with the Competition Commission. You can approach us. My email box is always open, and I often help people to lay complaints where where the guidelines have not been complied with.
And how easy is it? Like, what's the turnover or the response time, for example?
It's actually really easy. So for one, it's free. which is awesome. Two, exactly, not much is free these days, especially with legal issues. Two, the Competition Commission is one of the better governmental organizations in South Africa. They really are fantastic. They operate in a very functional manner. And I have found that issues can be resolved within a few days to a few months. So majority of the time, once the manufacturer, because that's normally who the complaint has been laid against, realistically, gets notified that a complaint has been laid against them, they often then approach the consumer and settle the matter. So generally, matters are settled quite quickly. And we've also found that there's been no, where businesses say, so not a consumer, where a business lays a complaint, there's been no backlash whatsoever from the manufacturer. It hasn't sullied the waters or created a sour business relationship. Rather, the manufacturer has actually gone, oh, this person is standing up for their rights. I best respect them going forward. And it's actually worked out very well.
100%. I think in closing, what are some of the plans that are in place, by the Rights to Repair campaign to sort of get this information out to the public as broad as they possibly can?
So we do interviews such as this. We do as much PR and radio talks and interviews as we can. We have our own website. We have our own social media platforms where we have information in print, in video, in audio, in infographic formats. You name it, it's out there. We're also trying to educate all small business owners that we can, so that then they can also educate their own customers and that. So anything and everything, we're there to do it.
Kate, thank you so much for joining us. It was lovely chatting to you. Good luck with all the future endeavors, and we wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you so much. It was lovely chatting to you.
Thank you. And for the rest of you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. As you said, Kate will put her email addresses and all the social media handles in the description, so you can kindly send her an email. She promised to respond quite quick.
I will, promise.
That's a promise from her, so you can hold her to that. Otherwise, thank you so much. The Rights to Repair campaign, please share this video with your friends so they can share it with their friends, and just spread the message, guys. I think everybody deserves to exercise their right to repair. My name is Dubs.